If you've got some naughty friends on your gift list this year, you've got to whip up a batch of these fun and easy lumps of coal bath bombs for their stockings. They fizz away delightfully when dropped in a hot bath, transforming the bath water into a velvety, lavender-tinted skin treat. And if you have ever made bath bombs the spritz spritz mix way, you are in for a treat, as these are way easier and so much less stressful to make. If you've got kids, I think this would be a great DIY to do with them, and to make things as easy as possible, I have put together a free printable PDF of the full project so you don't have to worry about spilling anything on your tablet or your phone as you work. More on that later. Now, before we can start weighing out our ingredients, prepare your work area. Make sure you've got somewhere to leave the bath bombs until they dry, and put on a pair of nitrile gloves as this is a very hands-on project. I'm going to make a 1 kilogram batch today, that's just over 2 pounds. That's going to make about a dozen 1.5 inch round bath bombs. The fizzy foundation of a bath bomb is basically the baking soda volcano you made in elementary school science class, but dry and free of papier-mâché. Those volcanoes were powered by a mixture of basic baking soda and acidic vinegar, which fizz and burble when combined because one of the products of that chemical reaction is the gas carbon dioxide. In bath bombs, we keep the baking soda, you'll need 530 grams, but we go elsewhere for the acid, so the bath bombs react when we add them to the bath water, not in the bowl. And also, vinegar, that's not a smell I really want in my bath. Doesn't sound relaxing at all. So, instead of vinegar, you'll need 270 grams of citric acid and 50 grams cream of tartar, also known as potassium bitartrate, the potassium acid salt of tartaric acid. You can definitely make bath bombs without cream of tartar, but it's a really big upgrade, making bath bombs that are both easier to mold and harder when dry. Our last dry ingredient is 96 grams Epsom salts, aka magnesium sulfate. This adds a bit of sparkle to the finished bath bombs and is generally just a nice thing to have in a hot bath. Don't worry about writing all of this down. Click the link in the description box below, and I will send you a free printable version of this project with all of the ingredients, amounts, and instructions written out. So just sign up, and it'll go straight to your inbox. Up next, we need some wet ingredients so we can turn all of this dry stuff into something we can shape. Bath bombs are held together the same way sugar cubes are. A small amount of water dissolves the water-soluble ingredients just a little wee bit, and then we press that together, and when the water evaporates during drying, those ingredients fuse. With bath bombs, we have to strike a careful balance between enough water that the ingredients fuse together, but not so much that the fizzing reaction starts happening as we make them. For these bath bombs, witch hazel is that watery ingredient, but you don't need it quite yet. First, weigh out 0.3 grams of a black water-soluble dye. I am using acid black 2, and at just 0.03%, it's so little. It'll create charcoal-colored bath bombs that dye bathwater a soft lavendery purple. It's super important that you use a water-soluble dye here, and not a lake dye, mica, activated charcoal, or black oxide. Those are all insoluble, so they're much more likely to leave a ring in the bath after you let the water out, boo, and they won't dye your bathwater. They're also far less potent, so they're just not going to do all that much at 0.03%. Once you've weighed out the dye, add just 5.2 grams of witch hazel and stir to encourage the dye to dissolve. Remember, that dye will stain anything it can, so if you don't have a black spatula, use a glass stirring rod or a stainless steel spoon. On the scent front, please have fun. What do you think a lump of coal-themed bath bomb should smell like? Licorice, vanilla, amber? I settled on this rich bibliothèque, that's French for library, fragrance oil from Bulk Apothecary. To add some richness to your bathwater, weigh out 25 grams apricot kernel oil or other lightweight, inexpensive oil. And To ensure both the oil and the fragrance mix into your bathwater, you'll need 16 grams of Polysorbate 80. And now we can start mixing and making. Begin by stirring together all the wet ingredients in a glass measuring cup or beaker. I don't recommend using plastic here unless you're okay with it probably getting dyed a little bit blacky purple. In a big bowl, mix the baking soda and Epsom salts together. Then add the wet ingredients and work everything together with your gloved hands. Once the baking soda mixture is uniform, add the citric acid and cream of tartar, and then work that all together until uniform. And so by adding the water to just the baking soda, before we combine both parts of the chemical reaction, the acid and the base, we ensure the water is spread out enough that no part of the mixture has that critical concentration of water required to kick off the fizz, which can happen a lot more easily with the spritz spritz mix method that I definitely started making bath bombs with. So when everything is all mixed together, you should have an ever so slightly damp mixture that holds together well when you squeeze a handful of it. You can shape these bath bombs a few ways. I'm going to use a classic spherical hand mold, but you can also pack them into a cavity mold or use a press. There is a bit of a trick to using a spherical mold, but once you get the hang of it, it's like riding a bike. Begin by scooping an ample amount of the mix into each half of the mold. Line them up as best you can, and then press the halves straight together. Do not try to adjust the alignment or twist the halves after you've pressed them together, or you're just going to tear the bath bomb apart and have to start over. To unmold, smack each side of the mold with the back of a spoon to release, and then gently remove each half of the sphere, set the bath bomb aside to dry, and repeat. If the bath bombs start crumbling on you, that's a sign that they're drying out. So spritz a wee bit of either a 70% isopropyl alcohol or witch hazel into the mixture, mix quickly, and carry on. Leave the bath bombs to dry overnight before using or gifting. And now, let's see one in action. If you're looking to make up an awesome gift basket of handcrafted DIYs, these bath bombs are a great start, but I think they could use some company. So might I suggest this delectable moisturizing skin treat as a lovely accompaniment? And don't forget to sign up below to get the free printable PDF of this project. Thanks for watching and happy making!